All right, all right. Happy Friday, good people. So we have
Yeah,
V
yes.
in the building, and we got Petty Rich Bay, and you got myself, E Flow, coming to you with some real facts, real questions, real opinions. Um, let's see how we gonna start this off. So tonight's topic is basically about facts and opinions, and we just gonna start with what's really going on in the world today.
Mm.
Um, you know, we are in trying times. We are in trying times, and if you haven't got right with your higher power, this is definitely the time to be doing so. Um,
Mhm.
it's crazy. I just feel like we got to stay prayed up. If we don't do anything else in this time, we need to be united. And I do mean black and brown people.
Correct.
Mhm.
And I do
Correct.
mean black and brown people. We need to stand together, chain links, arm in arm, 10 toes down, all across this world. Like, because that's the only way we going to get some accomplishments. Let's just say that. Because politics is going to be politics. They're going to do what they do with it, which is manipulate, control, scare, twist, turn. It is what it is. Well, how do you feel
White
about
people
it?
been doing that since the dawn time. I mean, I feel like white people been trying to control us, control everything we do for the dawn of time. I mean, it's been that way since slavery. They didn't want us to read. They taught us the Bible, but they used the Bible and weaponized the Bible against us. Like it was never it was some shit they read to me when I was in Milwaukee and it pissed me off. It was like, obey your masters. Bitch, who?
Their favorite line.
I don't have no master but God. So I'm trying to figure out why would you even say that shit to me? And it rubbed me the wrong way. I was in Bible study and it pissed me off. Like I had an
It should
attitude.
have.
And I feel like, yeah, like it was like obey your masters. And to me, I felt like that was another form of control. They always trying to control us and how we think and the things that we do. And I feel like one of the things that's starting to bother me, the more I'm around white people, the more I distrust them and I'm starting not to really like them. And I get tired of hearing the excuses. I get tired of them not knowing and doing and saying shit inappropriate. I get tired of them not being respectful and saying shit like, I remember my manager, she was like, I know you want overtime. Don't you want to buy you and your nephew Jordans? First of all, bitch, I don't even wear Jordans. I wear Balenciagas. I'm a rich bitch. So we different on how we operate. Like you don't even know me. And my
Mhm.
nephew don't wear Jordans like that. So I'm saying, why would you even say that shit to me? Like that's hurt. That's stupid. You don't even know me. I don't wear Jordans. If you knew me, I'm super fly. I be wearing all type of shit, but I don't need to wear Jordans to define me as a black man. And I get tired of that. But what you think,
So
Doc?
I'ma say this. One, that control thing make a lot of sense. I seen I want to say it was a TikTok. No, I wanted because I don't be on TikTok like that. It was a video though where this girl was like breaking down that white culture is a culture of control, right? And I think I said this last week. Ain't no such thing as white culture. That's the first DEI
No.
initiative. Just a whole bunch of different people. They done piled in together and called white to have some semblance of control. But at the end of the day, they really like one of the most domesticated people on the planet, especially here in the United States. If they told to do something, they be following rules that a lot of times don't make no sense. And then they try to impose their own little, like that Jordan's thing, that these like little microaggressions and all of this other stuff on us. I really feel like it come from exactly what E just said a little earlier that we need to do is have community, right? They got a lack of community. They are the originators of deadbeat dads, and microaggressive mamas. So they don't start out in a healthy foundation in any way, and then they never held accountable for anything. that have this skewed outlook on what the Bible is, what God is, and who they are in between those two things. They think they like the zookeepers and we all animals when if you really look at history, it's the reverse. They've been doing some savage shit all over the planet longer than 400 years. History, we don't know how long the planet been around, but we do know how long they've been documenting the crazy shit that they do and that they love. And another thing too is they don't have a long enough history of trustworthy actions. So
Correct.
they out of control at this point. They've been out of control for a long time, but like in right now today with the trumpeter at the helm, they think that's free reign for them to say and do whatever they want. And in some, you know, in
Absolutely.
some
Absolutely.
instances, it is free reign because they not ever held
It
accountable for the
is.
stuff that they do. They don't that nobody
It
checks
is.
these people.
Or when you do check them, they try to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Because I've had to check a lot of white people. Like, I think they say the most
Always.
egregious shit, and they do the most egregious shit. They are self scheming. I mean, working with them, being around them, and stuff like that. I've met a few cool white people. They not all bad. Let me just say
True.
that.
Yeah.
But 99.9999% of their ass is
That's
bad.
facts.
They only
I
care about.
That's facts. I just
Go
think
ahead.
that I honestly think that we need to, because we know there's power in the tongue. So I honestly think that we need to not even give them um the time and energy. I think that we need to keep preaching and teaching our history because they
Mhm.
trying to erase it. And there's too many African American, black, brown niggas out here to erase that type of history.
Mhm.
We've been bamboozled for so long. Now that the blindfolds are off our eyes, what are we gonna do now?
Woo, that's a dope
What are
ass
we gonna do
question.
now? What are we gonna do
Well, the
now?
thing
I
is,
feel
we
like we
gotta
need to stop
come
feeding the
together, like you
beast.
said.
We
And
gotta stop feeding the beast. We gotta stop feeding them.
Come on.
We gotta stop
Come on,
feeding them.
E.
Don't even give them the fucking time. Don't give them the energy. Now we all sway our brain and our thinking to the way that we're thinking. They wouldn't be able to fuel, live, feed off of shit. And then
Yep.
what'll happen is the tables will turn, and then how they look at us is how we'll be looking at them, because then they'll have to fucking figure it out like we did. Because they'll have to fend for
Right.
themselves like we do.
But we always, you know what? The sad part, we've always looked at them like that. Like,
Yes.
it's always been like that. We
Yep.
got a side eye to them and we
Yep.
looking at them crazy. But the problem that my issue is not white people though. My issue is niggas that tap dance for white people. You got so many people who want to be white or want to just cater to them, and that pisses me off more than stupid ass white people. I knew they was stupid every time you come in contact with them. They like
Hey,
when you think about the history of everything in your house, like look at everything in your house. Everything in your house was invented damn near by a black person. They not innovative, they not creative, they not smart. They done stole so much shit from black people. But it pissed me off with us because no matter how bad people treat us, we always so inviting in
Mhm.
our communities. Any other race could move into a black community and we gonna welcome them with open arms. Am I
No.
lying? But you can't just be black and move in anybody's neighborhood. You just
no,
can't.
you can't.
You move in the wrong motherfucking neighborhood. If they don't let your ass on the property in your own yard, they will burn your fucking house down
But
in their neighborhood because they don't want you there.
But then that just lets you know again the nature of the beast. It is in us to be loving. It is in us to be nurturing, to be caring, to make sure
It
that
is.
we taking care of our community. It's in us. And vice versa. It's in them to have the control. It's in them to have the takeover. It's in them to we got to stay ahead because we don't want them to get ahead. We got to keep them below because we got to stay superior. You see what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
once we all, when I
Mhm.
say all of us, I mean the niggas, the black people, the African Americans, the people who don't want to be African Americans, whatever, brown and black people. We just need to stand 10 toes down. Listen, we need to stop feeding them. Stop
Listen,
feeding them. Just keep educating our community.
yes.
Keep educating our
And stop
people,
they
and that's just it. Eventually, they're gonna fucking phase out. I promise you. I can see
Well,
it.
listen, this
I
the
can see
thing,
it.
right? This the thing that who they are and how they operate is already phasing out. That's why they talking about white replacement and all of this other stuff, right? They've been seeing it because one thing that I'm pretty sure we all understand is they got systems. They do rubrics and metrics and they looking at outcomes, they looking at inputs, they tracking everything from hundreds to thousands of years ago. So they already understand that their way of living and their way of thinking is being phased out. And I'm not tap dancing with what I'm going to say next, but we do have some John Browns, amongst the white people who still with the shits on our side, right? They far and in between, but like in certain communities that I'm, affiliated with, we got a lot of them, and I love them. So I and they express the disdain for what's what's coming from their counterparts or whatever. And you made a good point. I've been saying this a lot, especially on Twitter, because Twitter done turned into a troll cesspool, which I ain't gonna lie, I kind of enjoy it. I be trolling on there; it's kind of fun. But we got to just stop engaging with them. That's just wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? Because we don't have to, you know, um, patronize they spots. Like we have things in place now where we don't need to be around them at all, unless we really choose to, or like
At
work or something
all.
like that. But
At all.
I know for us three on here right now, we don't necessarily have to even be around them for anything. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we do have
Absolutely.
to really just be like, kind of like how cats be. Cats standoffish. They not just coming over there being cool with you. It's like I need to see this many days of you being this type of person before I even talk to you or look your way before you can have a
and
conversation with me.
engage.
For
Yeah.
real.
And
Yeah.
engage. I feel the same. I feel like I don't do people, period. Like the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, I understand why it's serial killers. Like people bother me. They
Not
do. They do
serial
stupid
killers.
shit. They say shit. I'm serious. Like I be telling my therapist and she be looking at me crazy. I'm like, girl, I see why it be
Hey,
serial killers. Like people
Leroy, I
stupid.
feel you,
They
brother.
do stupid shit. They say
I
stupid
feel
shit.
you.
And I feel like I avoid people, and I'm trying to not be like a recluse because I ain't no recluse. I love people. I be out and I be talking to people, but I am very distrustful of new people being around or extra friendly ass people. Like
So
you super friendly and you don't know me, my ass is up at your ass. Like who is you? Who sent your ass? Like
Wait,
where
so
you
what
come
I
it's
from?
realized,
And so
Leroy, when people are in tune, when I mean like really in tune with self, they attract the same type of people. So after a while, you could like
Mhm.
eliminate the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because they not gonna come to you anyway.
mm-hmm.
It's not gonna come to you anyway. You know what I mean? So like I feel what you said 100%. Like you don't want to be like because I'm very sociable, but at some points in my days, I don't feel like being bothered.
I'm the same way.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. And I think that's with growth. It's not that I don't like people. I love people. I talk to random strangers all the time, and for some reason, people feel
Me
comfortable
too.
confiding in me.
Yep.
But my antennas is up. I'm like, what's
Absolutely.
going on? Like, are you somebody that should be in my space? Should I be inviting you in my space? And so, like, I don't mean no harm. I just feel like these last 5 years, people have shown me what it is. Like with them, with they little friends. And I'm feeling like now if I don't fuck with you, I just don't fuck with you. It ain't like I
Mm-hmm.
don't hate nobody. I'm not wishing
I
nothing
wish
bad on
you the
nobody. I just don't
best.
fuck with you.
Yeah.
Me too. I wish you nothing but the best. Happiness, but you not, cause I tell people this all the time, and I had this conversation with Isha. I don't give a fuck about what you saying. I'm the prize in this situation. Without me, there would be no you. There would be no you going out of town. There would be no you being introduced to these things and like, cause you don't
Mm-hmm.
know. And so I'm the prize, and I'm gonna remove myself, cause I don't have to deal with you. I got friends across. I'm known internationally. I don't give a fuck about no local. You ain't even leaving your neighborhood,
Wait,
and I ain't
wait,
shitting on you. I'm
Leroy,
just saying.
that's a good point right there too, right? Because that's another one of those things with why they act the way they act, because they never leave their neighborhood. First off, they live in these little open air prisons that they call gated communities. It's bland, it's only corporate grade. They got two trees, one at the entrance, one at the exit, which is the same thing because it's only one way in and one way out. So they like live in this little dystopian, like stressed out environment all day long with a daddy who don't care about them and a mama that's drunk. And this ain't for everybody. I'm generalizing, but I'm not being funny, and I am, and I'm being serious. They already like um in this little bubble, you know. Think about this. Really think about this, y'all. Growing up, all of the movies that we used to have had a asshole white dude, a hoish white girl. They was in high school and they was doing some fuck shit and they got away with it and they made them the main characters of the movies and them was the people that we were supposed to look up to. You know what I'm saying? Even in sitcoms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I feel like movies train people a lot. I say this a lot about love, right? A lot of people look at love like the Huxtables and stuff like that, because they ain't had no real examples of love in their household or whatever the case may be. And for these people, that's how they be coming up. They don't have no real examples of just being good people because all their heroes are terrible. John Wayne, Rambo, all of their male heroes are killers. Killers. Ain't
Mhm.
no loving men
Now
in their movies.
that's fact.
But another thing that pisses me off too right now, I know a lot of single mothers, and I feel like one of the things that I remember us when we were growing up and coming up as shorties, our uncles, our granddads, they used to get on our fathers
Mm-hmm.
and our uncles. They be like, hey, you need to be in them kids' life. You need to be a good father. You need to
You
be
need to
a good
spend some
uncle, a
time
good
with them
brother.
kids. Uh-huh. Be a good
Yeah, and I
cousin.
feel like now when I talk to so many women, it's so many single women that the fathers is not in
Mm-hmm.
their kids' life. They not helping them financially. They not like talking to the kids because they not dating the mothers. And I'm feeling like you don't actually have to date the mother to be a good father. Like it's cool that y'all ain't together. Y'all met when you was 15, 16. We was in love then. Bitch, I hate you now. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. But the problem is, why do you let the kids suffer? Like I know so many single mothers. I got one friend, her baby daddy never been in her baby life, and her baby is 9. And I feel like every day the daughter want to see her father, but he telling her, "Well, I'm not gonna be. she ain't gonna see me unless me and you together. So we need to get back
Look, let
together."
me say this.
So
But I'm feeling
That's
like,
another one of those societal norms that been programmed into us, right? When you really look at it from the core.
mm,
Think about this. Back 100 years ago, like let's just say the 1920s or you know, coming into the 1940s, 30s, and 40s, right? And even before in the 1817, historically, in Western society, the man is taken out of the home. They gone to the factory or they gone to war. That has been trained into us in Western society. There is no father in Western society homes. That's why in Disney movies, it's only the daddy and no mama. They make the mama be wicked in all the Disney movies, and then it's an incompetent dumbass daddy that's trying to sell his daughter off to another incompetent dumbass supposed to be prince or hero, right? This shit been trained
mhm,
into our people, and we follow that. We hear about the deadbeat dads or we hear about fatherless homes in black society, but we've been trained to do that by the so-called dominant society. That it's no way that men could have been in the home if in the first 200 and some years of America they was at war. America been in
So
war since
listen,
America
here.
started.
But the problem is the black man. Go ahead.
So I've been talking about this for like the last 2 days. And I think this is just my opinion.
Okay.
Because I want y'all to think about this. In the 1920s and the 1930s, if you was 15 and you got a 13-year-old girl pregnant, what was happening?
You had to marry her.
Your parents was forcing you to. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're going to be there in that home with that child, and you're going to take care of that woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we need to go back to. Y'all out here 13 and 14 out here fucking. All right, now you got a family.
Hey,
Now
look,
you have a family.
not putting my mama on blast, but she had me at 14. You know what I'm saying? And you exactly right, because on my dad's side, my grandma and my grandfather, that exact thing happened. And you know what my grandma family made them do? Get married. They ended up having 16 kids and being together the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
And that's my point.
Mhm.
And that's my point. Because if we gonna be acting like we out here sneaking and fucking, right? I might not even love you. I'm fast in the ass. I'm hot in the ass. But the consequence behind that is because you didn't take any precaution, now you got a baby. Now y'all got a
Yep.
baby. So in those days, yes, the whole thing with the men being not the families, and we could go back to slavery because I feel like it really started there too, when they started snatching us and just pulling us away and taking the men from here and the women here and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we get back to the core of it, those situations and those families and those men went out and they worked and they brought them checks home to that woman, and he might have had
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 other women outside that household, but he took care of that household. Those children knew their father.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know my answer to that question, Leroy, that's my answer. If these mothers and fathers will make these kids, hey, y'all wanted to make the choice to have a good time in 5 minutes, and now you got a family, now y'all got to live accordingly.
Wait, E, hopefully it was longer
I'm
than 5
serious.
minutes though. Nah, they done made some babies. Hopefully,
I'm just saying, a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old, they're not comfortable. They somewhere sneaking. It was
Mm-hmm.
definitely 5 to 8 minutes. Come on now.
If it was
My
5
reason for saying it wasn't
minutes.
just 5 minutes is because they've been sneaking around at the church. They've been sneaking. So I'm just saying the length of time they've been doing these sneakings. But you're exactly right. And you hit on a
Yeah, you know what I mean? And because if my child, if any of my children would have in any form, fashion, way under the age of 18 got pregnant or got somebody pregnant, oh buddy, now your last name changing because you can't stay here.
But look, E,
I love you.
And you gonna take care of them damn kids.
that's what I was finna say
You gonna
too.
take care of them.
That was the point. You had to take care of them. It didn't matter your feelings. It didn't matter if y'all was in love. It didn't matter about none of that. You got a responsibility, and you gonna have to take care of that responsibility. And we had the nuclear family and the extended family, so you couldn't get away with not taking care of them, because somebody finna snatch you up and be like, "Nah, you finna go over here and do what you finna
somewhere
do."
down the line, they got confused. Lines got crossed because now you got the 31-year-old mama to the 15-year-old son who done got this 14-year-old pregnant, and this girl mama 29 talking about, oh, we need a paternity test. That ain't my baby. That ain't my son.
It ain't
baby.
about it ain't even just.
I said,
but it ain't just even a
the
paternity
line,
test. I think like it's just misconstrued because now in our society now they groom the mom to take care of the kid by herself, and that's not fair. It's hard you know, even if you and the whoever you got this baby by, be it your baby mama, baby father, if y'all not together or not, y'all both should be putting in the same effort to raise a kid if y'all made a kid together. And the fact that you on here talking about I'm on a DNA test, like this ain't Mari. Jerry Springer dead. So y'all gotta chill with that. Like you shouldn't be out here 14, 15, fucking 20,000 people and you don't know who your baby daddy is. Or you 15 with 8 fucking kids. That shit don't make sense.
Look,
I know little 13-year-old bitches with 3 kids. That shit
none.
don't make no
But
sense.
you
Of all the things you
It's
could be doing with your
if
life, you
it's
out
a
here
13-year-old
fucking.
with 3 kids, the law, the state should be involved in that some way, somehow.
The
and
state don't give a damn. They
they
want them to
love
be
it.
statistics and fuck
Yeah,
they
they love
life
it. They
over
want you to be
and
a
do
ward of the
stupid shit
state.
like that.
But something else that we got to look at, because you said it, Leroy, that Maury and what was dude named Jerry Springer era, right? That kind of ushered in a lot of this degeneracy too in the generations that's a little younger than us, but also in our generation too. That ushered that in because it was exciting and people thought it was cool. Humans want it. We like peacocks, nigga. We want somebody to be like, ooh, we want somebody to look at us. That like we trained to to want that. You know what I mean? We seek that out. That's why we do our hair and dress nice and do all of these other things. I really feel like there and I'm being careful saying this, but I really feel like the culture in Western culture is don't come from our households anymore. It comes from TV. So we train to do a lot of these things that we do, and we could prove it because we see it in society. Since TikTok been around, me and my wife friend own a club, right? Or she own a event space, and we go to little events and stuff. Everybody in there doing TikTok dances. Like nigga, what? Remember people used to actually dance? Like you in here doing no, come on. So we be
And to me, that
yeah,
shit
it is.
lame. Like, I feel like if you over 25, your ass should need, like, if you on TikTok, it's cool. Why is you doing these dances and shit? Y'all ain't no
I
kids.
agree.
The fuck, you 50 years
I
old,
agree.
pop locking and dropping it on
With
fucking
your
Yeah,
TikTok.
kid, I mean, so each
yeah.
That
his
shit
own,
is
but I
stupid.
agree.
Of all
I
the shit
agree.
you be doing with your life, you on TikTok. And I'm not
But
judging, I'm
look,
just
there is
certain
this
shit.
author, his name is Edward Bernays, right? They call him the grandfather or the godfather of propaganda. And he talk about um how they use all of these control systems to, get for consent to get the society to do certain things. And I'm like a person, I recognize patterns. You know what I mean? I pay attention and observe a lot of stuff. So I see a lot of these things that are like outward facing now in society that actually Hollywood taught us a lot of what Americans do right now had its origin comes from Hollywood. And if the conspiracy theorist is right, Hollywood is ran by the CIA and the FBI and all of this other stuff. So they manufacturing these things that we discussing right now. Maybe not the childbirth, kids having babies and stuff, because that's been going on since humans been alive. But definitely the way men and women, kind of treat each other in these relationships. Like I said earlier, Western culture is a deadbeat dad culture. Men don't belong in the household. I'm not saying that for real, but in Western culture, that's how it go. No man in the household. Mama raised the kids. Kids treat the mama like shit. Then they go out and repeat the cycle. And we see that it's real. That it's no denying that that's what Western culture is.
But I noticed too that like now, especially in 2026, it's no longer it takes a village. Like I was telling my grandma when she was alive, I remember we was in Walmart and this little young ass little bitch, she had her son with her and he was tearing shit up in Walmart. I mean, knocking shit over in the aisle. And I'm getting frustrated because I
I
hate
feel you.
badass kids. Like I pop shit out you. I don't care who kid it is. But my grandma was trying to tell the mom, like, get him, like, he tearing up the candy and shit. And I was telling my grandma, like, leave that shit alone. I hate to whoop this bitch ass over you. Like, because you said something to her kid and she could pop off because she was giving us a look like, man, your fucking business. I say, Grand, I know that you come from a time where you wouldn't allow this, but we living in different times. Like,
And you can
I
say
don't want to
something.
have to go to jail because I bashed this bitch upside her head and my
Mm-hmm.
grandma. Yeah, and you back in the day, if like when we were living in 364, if Jacera Keith mama seen me doing something, she popped the shit out of me. And my
Yep.
mama wouldn't care because
Yep.
that's how we grew up. But you pull that shit in 2026, somebody gonna be wanting to fight you
Yep.
over their baby. You can't just put your hands on people and their kids. And so I was trying to tell my grandma, like, just let it go. And it bothered her because she really wanted to say something, but it ain't our business. And it's unfortunate that you gotta feel like that. But getting in other people's business and saying certain shit to certain people. And I felt like today, like we had an experience today. I'm here with my friend. She my big sister. She is. And some people came to her stepdad's family was trying to check her today. They didn't know I was in the house. And they come in here and they like arguing with her and shit. And I'm just like, she lucky we not at my house because some bullets would have got to fly.
I
I
feel
don't
you.
really do too many talking. Like, I'm
I feel
handicapped.
you.
I ain't trying to fight you. Bitch, I want y'all gone. Like, and so they in here and they arguing with her, and I'm like, Lord, I'm glad I ain't at home, cause baby, they would have needed the armor of the Lord up in my house. Bullets would have got the pop, pop, pop. They'd be like, oh, we gotta go. But they was talking shit to her, and I'm just like, the audacity of you showing up to somebody's house trying to check them in their own house. Like, I ain't never seen no shit like that. You gotta be a crazy motherfucker to come to
Mm-hmm.
somebody's shit and be like, you gonna do this and what? And I was just
Yeah,
looking
because
like,
back in the
and when
day,
she
you used to
called
knock
me,
on
I thought it
somebody's
was
door, you get your ass kicked.
Quick. Quick.
hello. Or you get your ass stabbed or shot. Like I remember going with my auntie, and my auntie crazy, Christine. She had me knock on this lady door and she stabbed
Damn.
that bitch. She came to the door and she was like, when you go up there, nephew, ask for this lady. And I was like, okay, can I speak to Paula? And it fucked me up because she came to the door. My auntie stabbed the bitch. She bleeding and shit at the door. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm finna go to jail with my
Dang.
auntie. And my grandma is too. She like, why would you take my fucking grandson to do that? And she was like, oh, it's fine. He gonna have to get used to it. We all crazy. I say, oh wow.
See, and that's look,
But
that's
people
another
crazy.
thing too.
Don't.
It's like, oh, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not fine. That's not fine. That's
Mm-mm.
not fine.
That's
No.
Okay,
not okay.
But I
okay.
will say this.
No.
Coming from where we come from, we was kind of trained that stuff like that is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we done seen some shit in Cabrini. I know
Yeah,
I
hell
have.
yeah. Hell yeah. When I
So,
tell people, I
yeah.
don't like to, I ain't glorifying, but when I tell people about where I'm from and certain scenarios that happen, that they look at like, how'd you get out of there? Like I was in Guantanamo Bay or something. But yeah, crazy shit happening all the time.
Yeah. So
Hell
look,
yeah, but people crazy. They do the most egregious shit.
yeah, they do. That's the human nature, you know? If we all thought the same, this world would be a
Mm-hmm.
better place. The world would be a better place. I wanted to throw out one of the topic of discussions. Um, so have you, one of you guys,
Okay.
just, have you all ever believed in something so strong and then later on in life changed your whole perspective about it?
Yes. So for me, I feel like I used to blame myself when shit go bad. Like I used to always be like, damn God, what did I do wrong? Why are you punishing me?
Uh-huh.
But as I've gotten older, I've learned that we go through stuff for a reason. Like that builds character, it builds faith. And so me going through some of the stuff that I'm going through, I'm not being punished. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
go through shit. who
Uh-huh.
ain't been through something? Like me and you, E, we lost our mother. That was one of
Uh-huh.
the hardest things for me. My mother was
Yes.
my
Mhm.
best friend. When she
Yes.
died, we were hanging. Like
Yes.
we be going out, drinking, going to dinner together. I miss my mom because she was my
Mhm.
best friend. And
Uh-huh.
so when she was taken away from me, that bothered me. Like it still do. But I had my grandmother. Now she gone and
Uh-huh.
I'm lost. Like I'm trying to cope with it. And I got my sister, I got my nephew, but my grandma was my best friend.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? When I wanted to talk shit, I'd be, hey, grand, this stupid motherfucker. Like I would call my grandma, we be on that. And I just love her. She was still young, even though she was
Mhm.
in her 80s. She be like,
Mhm.
y'all gonna stop playing with my grandkids and woo out the bed. And I just miss that. I miss calling her and being like, Grand, your stupid ass family, guess what they did today? You know, they
Mhm.
stupid motherfuckers. So I don't have that now. I just got me and Netta, and we close too, but it's just a big part missing out of you know what? But I'm not feeling like, damn, what did I do wrong to lose my grandma? I'm just feeling like it was her time. And we all gotta take that
Mhm.
walk. You know what I'm saying? And so I just
Mhm.
hope when it's my time, I'm ready and I've did what I had to do when I'm here. So that's what I learned from
Wait,
it.
now, E, what
What
was the
about you,
question
Q?
again? 'Cause I didn't hear you.
So, like,
I say the
have
question again,
you?
E.
Okay. So the question: have you ever believed something so strongly and then later realized that you were wrong about it?
Yes. Yes, yes. Man, this a touchy subject, but a lot of things, right? And some core things that was like really, really like core to how I don't want to say how I operate, but kind of like how I think. You know what I mean? One thing, and then that's why I'm saying it's a touchy subject, but I'm gonna speak on it. One thing is like how I look at religion now. You know what I mean? That's like a big thing because not that I come from like a super religious family, but Leroy, you know this. We grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? We was at St. Matthew's every day. I was at the church more than the pastor. You know what I'm saying? I was St. Matthew. Like
Mm-hmm.
St. Matthew's almost I got Matthew tatted on my back. I was at St. Matthew's so much. You know what I mean? Like so not my relationship with the most high, but my relationship with religion and how we navigate that space, it's almost like I had an idea that was given to me by somebody else, you know what I mean? And you know, remember they used to come from Indiana and all these different places, come pick us up on the bus and take us to church. You know, I was deep in the church as a kid, Grace Church in Naperville, like all of these different churches, Seventh Day Adventist Church, Methodist Church, name a church. I was at every church, yeah. But now, like I'm a person that study and research a lot too. So now the way what my understanding that was taught to me from other people when I was young that I believed wholeheartedly, and I was like, yeah, this the way to go. And then like I moved to Georgia and I was like actually in a position where I could see the background workings of what was going on, and I was like, "Oh, they in here scamming niggas. This a fucking scam." You know, this church is they don't care about these people. They just trying to get some money. You know, this is like pimping at the pool pit type of stuff. So how I feel about religion now, it totally changed. You know what I'm saying? I almost see it as like a stain on people in times because it's almost predatory in some spaces. You know, Drewski just kind of poked fun at that, but what he was poking fun at was real. You know what I mean? So, whoo,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
And
And just to
and you
touch on that, I feel like he not lying. Like, well, go ahead, go ahead.
You froze, E.
But just to touch bases on what you saying, like I felt like I had to deal with that too, Keith. 2024 when I had moved to Milwaukee and I was up there running my little nonprofit
Wait,
and
Leroy,
working with
don't say
churches and
Lil.
stuff.
Yo, that nonprofit was not little. You boy, me and you talked about that for a minute. That was not little. But go ahead.
Yeah, like I feel like you not lying. I when I went up there and I was in church, and one of the things that bothered me is like I was at this Baptist church, and you know how I want to see Sister Ann singing her wig off at the Baptist church. I want to get some good, yeah, it's the Lord and all this. And I felt like we were dealing with a lot of white people, and it felt like a
Man,
cult. Like I think they were doing and saying stuff that didn't really agree with me as a
come on, bro.
Christian. And even though I got closer to God, I just felt like you right. Like, dude, I remember this dude named Melvin. He like a big brother to me, and they promised him they was gonna help him find a place, but they had no intention on helping him find a place. Like they literally was trying to get him to move into. And you know what, y'all? I've never heard of this. Have y'all heard of how they had these places like group
Yeah,
homes for adults,
Yeah.
where they had 10 bedrooms and
Yeah.
everybody paying
yeah, they
$600 a
done
month,
everything,
Yeah.
bro.
and they living under
Yes.
one roof? And
Yeah.
I've never heard of those. So I was
Leroy,
like,
I
when
used to
they were
work. I
trying to
used
move
to
him
work
into it, and he
in one
never.
of those houses in like 1998 in Chicago, over east.
Yeah, they everywhere.
I never heard of those homes until I moved, and I was homeless myself. Like, and we were living in a shelter because I had never lived in a shelter. I never had to deal with nothing like that. I only chose to move in there because I wanted my Social Security. I was like, well, this is the only way I'm gonna get it. Because if I studies act like I don't need to be here, I ain't gonna never get it. They gonna keep denying me. So I was like, look, I'm gonna have to hit rock bottom. I hate it because I'm the only motherfucker pulled up in a Mercedes Benz. They like, you the only nigga I know that's homeless pulling up in a Mercedes. I'm like, well, because technically I'm not homeless. I just need to get my motherfucking money
Right.
so I can get out of here. And so when I got there, I had never experienced that where I was in church. We was going to church
Mm,
7 days a week. Like every day at 7 p.m. it was
mm-hmm.
chapel, and they always had these different people come in, but religion was weaponized. Like they
Come
would
on,
say
Leroy.
stuff like, it was weaponized. They would say, like, I remember one night this white guy came in and he was like, hey, you guys are all lying, adulterous whores. And I look, cause it's
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful. Like, you don't know me to be calling me a lying, adulterous whore, even if I
Right.
am, like, for real. But they would say and do certain things that were not conducive to being a Christian. Meaning that if you here to help people, you here to help people. That's what Christians do. And so my foundation about religion was all wrong. Like I learned how you really get into heaven. I thought, we was thinking you do good deeds, go your ass to church every Sunday. That get you in. That does not get you in heaven. That's a straight ticket to hell. It is. You get into heaven by you had to repent for your sins and you had to accept Christ as your savior. You had to literally believe and not just accept him, but you got to believe that he say who he was. And so I
Now,
never
hey,
knew that.
Leroy,
If I
I'm
listened to
not
my
to cut you off, but let me say this because this on topic with that facts or objective opinion, right? Because you just said something
Opinion.
that's really important. One of the main things that turned me off from religion and church because of what I was going through is exactly what you're talking about right now. Because we'll be in this place and they not talking about what's in the book. They talking about what's in their mind. Now they done put an opinion,
Mm,
even like you just said about going to heaven, right? Think about this. Nowhere in the Bible does it say we going to heaven. It say it's gonna be a new heaven and a new earth. Heaven is exclusively for God, according to the Bible. It says it's gonna be a new heaven and a new earth, and we're gonna live in the new Jerusalem, the new earth, right? So certain things that, and I'm a person that love to read, I love to study, so I'm doing all of this research. I'm trying to, what I'm saying, know my word and stand on it. What is it? 2 Timothy 2:15, rightfully dissect the word, and so and then I'm sitting in here and I'm asking questions to this pastor, and he telling me, "Oh, you gotta wait for Sunday school with some 3 and 4 year olds, nigga. I'm in my 20s. I'm not about to sit in the room with some 3 and 4 year olds asking Mama Mary question. She 80. She in here telling them anything. She in here reading nursery rhymes. Nigga, she not reading the Bible. She reading that little Noah's Ark book. That ain't the Bible. That's a damn story somebody made up for the kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not telling what's in the book. So for me, that was one of the first things, and not specifically the pastor who was doing it. I've seen this repeatedly in places where, like you just said, they weaponize that word, putting their opinion in instead of going straight from the book. And that's dangerous. Look at where we at right now. This is the truth. They have weaponized Christianity right now in the Trump administration. All these people think that Jesus and God anointed Trump to be the president, and going to war with Iran is bringing back Jesus Christ.
But you know what the sad part is, Keith? God did anoint Trump
I
to
don't
be
think so.
president because he need everybody to see. No, let me be clear. What's going on here? Had you not seen what could actually happen and how bad it could get, would you ever trust in, have faith in God? Look at what Trump doing. You would have never thought it was possible because we do live in this bubble where we think life is damn near perfect. But people needed to see a motherfucker like Trump in office to see how bad it could get, to see how
I agree
racist
with
these
that part.
motherfuckers are, to see how conservatism, whatever the fuck they want to call it, is really flawed. It's fucked up. These people don't believe in Christ.
Never.
They never did. And honestly, you could tell real people who believe in Christ would never do half of the shit that they doing. And so if you're a real true believer in Christ, and that's what I'm saying, 2024 really brought my relationship with God like we tight. Like when I really need something, I remember I'm in my kitchen and I'm not lying. Like it be shit like I can't open the mayonnaise, the Miracle Whip jar. And I'm struggling for about 5 minutes and I'm hungry. And I be like, you know what, God, I tried myself. Look, I can't do this without you. I pray on it. 2 seconds later, I popped that jar open like it was nothing. That's how close I am with God. So I'm feeling like now I am a religious dude, but I really know what it's about. It ain't got nothing to do with
It
what they
don't got
trying to
nothing to
teach
do with
you.
what they trying to teach us. And I love that you shared that, because I think for myself, um, being out in nature more, I started growing food, and, all of these things that I was doing in nature, that's what allowed me to see what God and who God really is, right? Because then I was like just sitting and observe, especially when I first got injured, I was depressed. Man, after the surgery, I had an infection from the surgery that it damn near killed me, bro. I was down to like 119 pounds, and I was struggling mentally, and I would just sit out. I had this little drill, this little auger, and I sat out in my backyard. Now, my wife wanted flowers and some place to put her feet. We had just bought the house, and I sat out there every day and just dug in this soil with this thing, because I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't really walk. I couldn't lift nothing. I just sat out there with that thing every day. Then I started paying attention to everything around me, just in my own little, now I won't say in a bubble, but I was just out there. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting. I'm amongst I ain't gonna say wildlife like we had lions and tigers, but the birds, the bees, all the bugs, all the flowers, and all the shit that was growing. And then I started to kind of really understand how God talked to you. How, earlier today, my mentor said, when I wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, wait, let me take it back. First, he said, Keith, stop saying that your body fucked up. He said your body is working, your body is doing what it's supposed to do so that you don't hurt yourself. He said, when I wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, I see God. He said, so when I talk to you, I hear the voice of God. And that really made me, man, that changed my whole day, because I woke up I just, how it is, well, you're dealing with this too. Being handicapped, coming from somebody who used to rip and run and be out here in these streets for real, it just don't feel good on a daily basis. But I understand God from a space that somebody that's bringing their opinion in, or weaponizing it to get money, or to big themselves up, that I can't allow that. That I just it hurt my feelings that we have people who use the word wrong on purpose to control people. And it's happening every day. Every single day. It's so many people being led.
It's happening every day because because people are so programmed with that. So then now they're doing what they're taught. You know what I mean? So just to kind of piggyback off of your answer to the question, because that was gonna be my answer. It was gonna be about religion. I could remember a time where I really thought that, what the people was telling me at church, the pastors, the Bible study teachers, the Sunday school teachers, I honestly was believing all of that until I decided to pick it up and read it for myself.
Yep.
And then and then on top of that, I still don't 100% believe the Bible,
I'm with
because
you. I
for
am with
me,
you.
because for me, it was still written
By
by
men.
some man.
Come on.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
Wait.
White man,
Hey,
though.
let's
Be
I don't
And
want
clear.
to cut you off.
White
I
man.
want you to finish, but let me say this too. Think about this too, right? Because me and my brother just had a big blowout argument about this because he a pastor. Not only was it written by man, but we don't know what it actually say because it's in English now. It was never written in English. So when you start looking at that Greek, you start looking at that Aramaic, and you start looking at that Hebrew, you get a totally different story than what we got in that English version.
Correct.
So
And the piggyback. Go ahead, E.
so I think that once you decide that you want to have a relationship with God, you need to build it accordingly, not off of what you were taught. You know what I mean? Because I went to St. Luke Church of God in Christ, which was a Kojic church,
I was over
and they
too.
shouted all day long.
All day.
They shouted all day long. You know what I mean? And I mean rebuke, and you was at the altar tallying, and you weren't gonna get pregnant when you wasn't married, and you don't smoke cigarettes, and you don't do this, and you don't do
Control.
that, and you don't do this. But no one ever told me why. Why? I understand the importance of premarital sex now. I understand the importance of not feeding my temple with poisonous things. I understand that now. But you just telling me because it says it in the Bible, you're not explaining anything to me. And then the older I got, the more I realized that people use that again to weaponize against other people. And I don't mean just a pastor or a preacher. So if I sit up in the church all day long from the time I was 4, and now I've got my kids in the church, and now I'm holier than thou, but I'm cussing, I beat my kids, I'm still partying, but my children see me going to church, going to Bible study, being saved, sanctified, and then I'm telling them what they can and can't do, but then I'm still being a hypocrite because they see me doing otherwise.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, we have to have our own relationship with him in order to have the understanding. Because just because somebody tell you, oh, you're not supposed to steal, you're not supposed to kill, why? If a motherfucker steal from me, why I can't steal from them?
But
wait,
I'm just
before you
saying we
let
have
me
to
say
break
this.
it.
If you look in the Old Testament, if you look in the Old Testament,
Go
they was
ahead.
kill, steal, and destroy, and God told them to do it. He told them to go in and kill every man, all the women that been touched before, all the animals, all the kids. He told them to steal all the gold trinkets and stuff out of Egypt. These things in that book. Somebody said to me the other day, he said, man, if you really read the book, the Old Testament carefully, you start to see that the Israelites was the villain. I said, you ain't even got to read it carefully.
Listen, one thing.
But it was never about. So here's the thing, right?
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. The problem with a lot of things in the Bible is that God already knew when he sent his messengers and sent, these messages to be put in the Bible, that humans would never come anywhere close to what he wanted. We were never going to be perfect. We were never going to follow his laws. The Old Testament is full of so much sin. It's almost like he knew we were never going to amount to what he wanted. And what people don't understand is that with the New Covenant and the New Testament, it's about putting Christ was, even though like all of us have sinned, we've all been tempted. Christ was tempted the same way we were, but he never sinned. That's what made him different from us. And so in the New Covenant in the New Testament, is you supposed to put your faith in Christ and he go to God on your behalf, because although he was tempted to sin, he never did. He was tempted by all the little whores to have sex and to steal, cheat, and kill, just like the rest of us, but he never did it. And so the rules for God never change. And I
I
tell
agree
people
with that
this all the
part.
time. God's still expecting you to still follow the 10 testaments. The issue is that he know none of us perfect. We never gonna be able to be perfect. We were never gonna be able to give him what he was asking for, which is why Christ came for us here on earth, died, and repented for all our sins. Cause we was never gonna get into heaven. And if it was up to us, we was fucking up.
Absolutely.
Even back then. And so the issue is not so much with spiritual maturity, you learn that you right. Everything they taught us, not having sex and all that. Of course, they tell us it was wrong, but you were supposed to make those mistakes because as you grow spiritually and you grow and mature, you learn that those things that you were doing and why you were doing it now, the more you get closer to God, the less you start sinning. The less you start trying to be better. The more you start trying to be better as a human being. Meaning that you ain't gonna make the same decisions we made when we was 12 and we was fast. We was
Absolutely.
trying to sleep around and doing all this. Cause now you ain't got time. And it ain't just about God. It's about you want
Man,
better
that
for
part.
yourself.
Uh-huh.
You want to make better decisions. You want to be around better people. You want to make decisions that's going to help you grow as a person and help your family grow. Because that's what it's about. At the end of the day, life is about building those relationships, lasting relationships with
Lasting.
good people, including
Wait, and what the
Christ.
word say? He said, "Love your neighbor, love your brother." So we see how even that's been turned into something else. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll be in
Mm-hmm.
church and they'll be talking shit about everybody. Like, whoa, wait a minute. How you got authority to judge? Nigga, ain't you sleeping with?
But you don't have authority to judge. And that's what I'm saying. When you see a pastor, like I remember I was at this service and the pastor was going in on the LGBT community, and I had to stop him immediately because it's not your place. You don't judge. God is the one that does the judging. And even with people who I say, what you don't understand is there's a lot of y'all in here sinning. There's a lot of people in here that's having it out of their relationship sex with people, and they fornicate, they doing all type of dirty stuff behind closed doors.
Yeah,
So you don't
stealing,
get to judge. That's God's job.
manipulating,
Stealing after, yeah,
just being
lying. You
manipulating,
got
being a
time.
liar, being conniving, being deceitful. You know what I mean? It's just all that falls into play. All of that falls under that. Pastor,
Mhm,
elder, first
mhm.
lady, mother, usher, nurse. No.
And then think about this.
It just, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
That mess you up
I just feel
when
like
you
when
to
you,
follow through with stuff because you like, oh, y'all telling me that ain't supposed to do X, Y, and Z. But then I see you at the club. Like this is a real example when I was in Georgia, that one pastor that I was talking about, it was a Kojic church too. And me and the pastor had become really clear. He was like training me. I'm supposed to, I was gonna be like a youth pastor. I was like in my early 20s. I'm gonna be a youth pastor. And I'm out, I'm young. I'm still living the life. So I'm at 559 one night. Who I see? The pastor. That ain't your wife. This nigga pulled me to the side, like, let's step outside. I'm like, you know, ain't no ins and out in the club. He like, nah, we could go out this way. Oh, wait a minute. So you got the hookup if we could go out, smoke a cigarette, smoke a blunt, and come back
And
in.
you know a little too much to be talking about we
Wait,
go out this way.
that was that first instance though where I start to say, wait a minute. Cause bruh be at the church holier than thou, you know, dressed like a pimp named Slickback, but everybody trusts him and love him. Everybody giving him their money. He got Cadillacs, all this good stuff. And you about to try to train me to do that? My daddy was a pimp. I don't need you to train me to do that. That ain't.
I don't know.
And I feel like so what made you distrust some of the stuff that you seen in the church?
So it started out with the Holy Ghost.
Come on, speak.
It started out with the Holy Ghost. So as a kid, I used to stare like, what? And then when I got about 9 or 10, I used to cry. Then when I got about 12, I realized like, this is a show. This is a show. And then at 16, I started questioning everything. I was questioning everything. And that's just what it is. It wasn't anything in particular. It wasn't anybody in particular. It wasn't nothing the pastor said. It was the fact that I have the sense that God gave me.
Discernment. That's what that is. It's
And I
discernment.
sat back and I just kept questioning. My mama used to be like, the more I questioned, the more I was in church, okay? Because I was the devil.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
You know, but it wasn't any breaking me. I could remember like my cousins and them going to the altar and the pastor, it looked like the pastor and them, they used to be beating on them. Wish I would go down to the altar so y'all could beat on me. I would not be doing that. And they trying to make me go. No, ma'am, no, sir. I'm gonna look. You want me to? I'm gonna cry right here. I'm good. If that's what I gotta do. I don't know. That's what it was, Leroy. And then when I when I was 21, I started studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. Right? I was studying with them, and then I finally went into the Kingdom Hall. So I wanted to that Kingdom Hall, and then I moved on the south side. I went into another Kingdom Hall. I lived on the west side. I went to another Kingdom Hall. I even moved to Michigan and went to the Kingdom Hall. Let me tell you, every last one of them looked the same. They all preach on the same thing. Nobody screaming, nobody yelling. The pastor is teaching, he's talking, he's asking questions. Do you understand? What do you think? We're going back. And at that point, I realized like I've been bamboozled because anything organized gonna work.
Every time.
Anything organized gonna work. And no, I do not. I am not a Jehovah's Witness. I just appreciate the way that they deliver me the word. That's it. That's all. And that's what changed my whole thing about religion. And there's no nothing. That's the truth. That's the truth. It was the Holy Ghost. I'm thinking like, what in the hell is going on up in here? I don't know.
Because they be acting a fool in the church.
Yeah, and then at 9, I've been in church all my life. So at first I used to stare. I could remember this like it was yesterday. Then the older I got, I started crying because I was scared.
I used to be scared too, so I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
And then it was like the mature my brain got. The mature my brain got, I realized like, oh no, they in here bamboozling us. Like, this is not right. Like, this is a show. And I don't know. That's what it was. And, you know, and right now to this day, no, I don't go to the Kingdom Hall. But I've been to the Kingdom Hall here in Mississippi. And if I log on to Zoom to the Kingdom Hall, it's gonna be Chinese, Arabian, all across the world, and they all getting taught on the
Let me
same
say this,
lesson.
E. And
It's very
hopefully,
organized. It's very
hopefully he
organized.
hear this. Shout out to Wendell Lord from the Kingdom Hall here in Sacramento. I had a similar experience, but not going to the Kingdom Hall. In my past job that I worked for damn near 20 years, they used to do their big conference in our facility, right? And I met this guy, Wendell Lord. Love this dude. He would go to Alaska every year, send me salmon, buy me seat, all kind of stuff. He's just a great dude. But that was the same way I felt about them too. It was really organized. They allow you to ask questions. They actually try to answer the questions and not from their own understanding. They want it to come from the book so that they not leading you astray and they ain't held at fault. And even if they wrong or right, I respect that more because they being honest. Hey, I don't have
Yep.
the answer, but we can look in
Yep.
this book together and find
Yep.
it. I respect the hell out of that. For real.
Yep.
I had a similar experience with Jehovah Witness, but I feel like the thing that really bothered me 2024, we going back to 2024, is I was in church and my pastor is black. His wife is black. But he has 3 kids. He got 2 sons and a daughter. And they all married to white men and women. And that bothered me. That's the first thing that bothered me. Because again, this a Baptist church. And again, I don't really trust white people. I don't. And so we in there, and I remember meeting his son's wife and her family because she had a baby. And they didn't even speak. Like they came in and they were like rolling their eyes at the black folks, and they only was mingling with the black folks that they felt comfortable with. But again, this is a church and we are all Christians. And so that bothered me because I felt like you got 3 kids, you got 2 sons and a daughter, and none of them found, we do live in Wisconsin. I get it. But none of y'all found the need to fall in love with anybody, a person of black, because y'all got great jobs. Y'all engineers, police officers, you work for the government. Nobody said, well, I'm going to get with somebody, a person of color. Y'all all chose white.
Who were they
And
raised
that
around? Who did they go to school around? Who were they around?
I mean, it's hood ass Milwaukee. The Milwaukee hood is fuck. The whole Milwaukee is ghetto. So I feel like there is a bunch of white people in Milwaukee. But you mean to tell me of all the people you could have dated, you decided not to date anybody of color, you chose white. And so that bothered me. Cause we in a Baptist church and y'all singing these kumbaya songs. Where's Sister Shirley that's gonna sing her wig off? Even Amazing Grace was like white. They was singing it like the white folks sing. And it bothered me. It did. That raisins in the salad and shit. And so it bothered me because like I'm not a typical homeless person. When you see me, I'm looking good and shit. You can't tell I'm homeless. And so they were asking for people to volunteer to help with like a thing they were throwing at the church. And she was, oh no, we're not. We're going to go with somebody else. Cause I was like, I plan events. Let me help. No, we're not. We're going to go with somebody else. And they wound up doing like a potluck, whatever. I didn't feel no kind of way. But when she asked me later, I was like, no, I don't want to help you. Cause I felt like I gave you the opportunity for me to step in. I offered my help and you didn't want me to do it. And so after that, it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I could see myself pulling myself away. Cause again, there was this dude in there, another one. You know, he was cool, but he was on crack 35 years. And that's all he kept talking about. 35 years, I was on crack. And that shit bothered me. I don't want to hear this every time I see it. I just don't. Shit, we all have had our struggles, but 3.5 decades on crack is a lot. Baby, you need to have a real conversation with God. Like, you've been on crack 35 years. That's a lot. For me, that was a lot. He kept saying, 35 years I've been on crack. And I remember I was down there in the basement and them demons was talking to me. And I'm sure they was with 30.
Especially 35 years of crack.
They were,
I'm
you
sure
are
they
a
was.
mess.
for 35 years, but I felt like it was too much. This wasn't the time or the place. Instead of you talking, and I get it, your testimony is your testimony, but you kept making it a business to make yourself feel good. This wasn't about helping other people. It was about helping you feel better that your ass has been on crack almost 40 years. And so stuff like that bothered me. I'm not saying every Christian should be perfect. I do feel like, though, you should be trying to help other people. It's not
And the
about
church should
you.
be doing that
It's
too.
never
That's
been about.
another one of those things. Go back to something E said earlier about community, right? And another thing that turned me off from religion is back in our grandmama's time, the church was a staple. The church was like Big Mama House 2.0. You know what I'm saying? You at grandma house whenever,
Mhm.
but you go to church, that's like all the grandmas. You know what I mean? The church supported people. The church got people food. The church helped people with their kids, helped people get jobs, and everything.
They help the
Everything.
elderly.
That e-
They don't do
even
that
think about this
anymore.
during slavery, well, I won't say during slavery because I wasn't there. So but back in the day, the church was a staple for us. We used it to have meetings. We used it, that's how people kind of congregated. And, some of these other organizations and movements came up out of the church. They was helping slaves get free. The church it actually wasn't just a building. You know what I'm saying? It was a part of the community. It was a meeting place. It was something that you could depend on. If we all left out the house right now and tried to go into a church right now, they closed. You can't get into them. And if you get into them, you going
You
to
can't.
jail. Because that means you broke in, you wasn't invited, you don't work here. When they gave churches this nonprofit status and faith-based initiatives, what that Bush has signed up, and even before that, I'm pretty sure because they infiltrated the church, especially black churches, to try to shut us down. But it changed from being a place of refugee or refuge to a business, to a place where I can make unrestricted funds, don't have to pay no taxes, you know, and live large. I could what Drewski say when he put his feet up with the red bottoms, walking on Jesus' blood.
Who?
So
So it changed once those white people
The
start putting
government
their
got
hand.
involved.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
When the government got
yeah,
involved, the
yeah. When it
government run
became
churches
a
now.
governmental
And so
institute,
now,
because nonprofits is just non-governmental organizations. So once it got attached to this tax thing, once yeah, they infiltrated that shit too, man. Everything infiltrated.
so the problem is that churches used to be about faith. It's about control now. That's why the government is putting so much money into it. If you think about it, the black church speak about stuff, but they speak
Because
about
they can't
certain
speak
things.
about everything.
They don't talk about.
They got a short list. Don't step outside of the lines. What was I can't think of his name, the pastor
And
from
if you
Chicago that
do,
was Obama's pastor. Remember, they was trying to get on him because he said something he wasn't supposed to say.
and that's how it be. Now to go back to what Keith was saying, I felt like I remember too. So I had my accident 2017, 2018. I got hit by 18 wheeler. I was on my way home from work one night out there by O'Hare. I'll never forget it. And it took me a couple of months to recover. I never thought I would be disabled.
Me too, bro.
And so now that I am disabled, I'm trying to deal with the fact that I'm limited on stuff I could do. Meaning that I can only walk so far. Cause now if I do too much, I'ma collapse in the middle of wherever I'm
Man.
at or some shit like that. And then I'm a big dude, so I hit the floor. Who the fuck finna get
Yeah, I
my
feel
fat
you,
ass
Leroy.
up?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. And so I feel like also too, not only am I limited and stuff, it's to going to the
Woo!
bathroom. It's to, I always have my cane. I gotta
Right
do
next
this.
to
And
me.
it's like
I
it's a
feel you.
lot. And so I struggle with that still. Like I struggle with being out and trying to do stuff. And so I don't want to be in a place with too many people because some shit pop off. Guess what? I
Wait, look,
can't
you
run.
said that earlier.
And if I ain't got my gun, I gotta stop, drop, and roll and shoot
Yep,
back. Like I
with you.
can't
Yep.
run. So it is difficult, but the greatest gift God could have gave me is that I'm retired. I don't have to work. Like I'm at home, the bills paid, I'm sleeping good, my skin clear, I'm eating good. I don't have to worry about nothing. And like I'm happy. Like I couldn't ask for
Mm-hmm.
anything more than being able to afford to take care of myself without worrying about, damn, how am I gonna eat? How am I gonna pay the rent? Cause it's fucked up when you got bills to pay and
And
you
you
can't
can't
Yeah,
work.
and you
bam.
can't work.
And you can't,
Yeah.
and you can't buy no food. Cause you wanna see somebody willing to do anything, starve a
Hey,
motherfucker for
listen,
$2-3
I say that all the
and they ain't
time,
got
man.
nowhere
The
to eat.
person who feeds you is the person who leads you. If you hungry, you'll do anything, boy. You'll be. Look,
You
you
will do
was on crack for
anything for a
35 years, but
breadcrumb
we've been
or
on food
whatever.
our whole life. That's our biggest addiction. Shit.
It is. And so you not being able to eat, not having a place to stay, not being able to pay your bills, that will send you
Mm-hmm.
over the edge. You'll be out here thinking like, damn, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to survive? And so the fact that God answered that for me is, again, another reason why I'm saying proof that he real. But again, you have to
Have that
just listen to what
relationship.
you gotta have and you gotta build your own relationship. Don't
You
expect
do.
to get that out no Bible,
You do.
no church,
From
from
nowhere.
no pastor. You gotta open them doors up to have that conversation with God and be like, hey. And so now I don't worry about nothing. I haven't prayed for nothing in a while because I
I'm
don't
with you
need
on
nothing.
that. Yeah.
Bills paid. I'm traveling. I mean, my cripple ass limping a little bit, but I'm still moving around. Like I'm just happy to be amongst the living.
That
And I
part.
can say I'm here with y'all having these conversations and
Mm-hmm.
we could do this and we could do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just happy about that. Like life has been good and I'm just happy to be here. That's all I care about. And so the thing about facts versus opinions, yes, people can have their opinion about what religion is in Christ, but the facts is that God is who he say he
Man,
is.
listen.
Like if ain't
Absolutely.
nobody else told you what it is, the
Absolutely.
real facts is that if you know the real God and the real Christ, they really is who they say they is.
They
Hey.
really are.
And if
They
you
really
need
are.
something, you put your faith in them. Don't put your faith in Pastor Harris or whoever these people who lying to you trying to get something from you or put you in where you hooked on you need something from them all the time. Put your faith in God. You don't need them.
Hey,
And
look.
he said you just got to have a small amount. What do you say? A mustard seed of
Mustard
faith?
seed.
And
Look,
that's very little.
I was just gonna say that, Eve. My mentor said
Just enough. You don't
Just
have to
enough.
have,
yeah, because
Come
the
on now.
abundance is out
just
there.
enough.
The abundance is out there. You know what I mean? We live on a. My grandma used to say this all the time in Leroy. You know how my grandma was. She didn't play no games, but she used to always say, "Nature does nothing in vain." And remember, you are nature.
Yes.
Like you gotta remember. My
Yes.
mentor said this to me earlier
Yes.
about that seed. He said, one seed equal one plant. You plant that one seed, that one plant, you get one fruit, but that fruit gonna have 100 seeds. You plant them 100 seeds, now you got 100
Yep.
plants. Now you got 10,000 when you harvest those seeds. So the abundance is there. You just have to make sure that you don't allow the uncertainty to ruin it for you. And that spoke volumes to me this
Absolutely.
morning. I'm telling you, volumes, because exactly what you said, Leroy. I was in that stump. I ain't gonna lie, I probably just came out of that stump. Me and you been in this situation about the same amount of time because my injury happened actually in 2015. Then I got re-injured in the same place almost 3 years to the exact day that I had the surgery. I had the surgery 2016 on February the 19th. Got injured again 2019, February the 19th. So
Wow.
That's
look, I said
crazy.
the same thing. But after going through all of the stuff that I had to go through mentally, I started thinking, I said, man, this is actually a great trade-off. because now I'm at home with my family every single day. I get to see my daughter as much as I want to. I get to see my wife as much as I want to. I can't really move around and do all the stuff that I want to do. And I'm a person that like to look good. I like to dress. Like I really was outside. You know what I'm saying? I was doing shows for 10, damn near 20 years. I'm in the clubs all the time. Like I was like, I'm even now trying to contain how much energy I used to have, like not being able to move, it still mess with me because I, it's not like I'm trying to walk slow. I can't do nothing else but walk slow, and I can't walk that far when I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I can't really. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm like this because I can't really do too much turning and moving and stuff too. But I start to realize, like, man, this is a great trade off. And then I start to accept, not that I'm disabled, but that I have to operate differently. And that I don't want to say it was a voice of God because I'd be lying if I said it that way. But but I did start to hear this I did start to hear God in a different way, right? I started to see it in a different light, and I start to understand, like, it's not a curse, or this ain't as bad as I think it is. Actually, it's terrible. Let me say that because that's how I feel often, right? But actually, it's taught me so much patience. You know what I'm saying? It's so many good things for me, for my maturity, for how I react emotionally and things of that nature. Now, where I'm like, I'll be the calmest person in the room now, because really, if shit pop off, I can't run anyway. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no point in me freaking out. Ain't no point in me getting all up in arms over some shit. And I always been a person that like got super situational awareness. And before, it was probably more paranoid than it is now, because now my situational awareness allow my nervous system to be a little more relaxed. I ain't like up in arms about everything. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like, I don't want to call it a blessing because I don't like using that word either. But I do feel like I was the right person for this to happen to, because I know how to handle it. You know what I mean?
But it's more of an eye opener. I feel like what it did for me is that I used to be a guy of the glass is half empty. And now I look at it like the glass is
Always.
half
Yeah.
full. Like I'm grateful for what's going on, for the little blessings. Like it don't take, I want to be, I used to want to be rich. Now I just want to be at peace. Like I just want to come home to a quiet house, to no drama, to nobody calling my phone with no bullshit. I want to be able to eat what I want to eat, do the things that I want to do, and just embrace that part of what life is. I think I'm moving into that part of my life where I'm like, yeah, these are the things that's important. These are the things I should be focusing on. Because when you do get ready to die and you on your deathbed, it's not gonna be about the stuff you didn't do. It'll be about the things you
Man.
did do.
Yeah.
Like the time you spent with your family, the
Yep.
friends,
Yep.
us doing this
Yeah.
podcast. When
Yeah.
I think back, like, damn,
Yeah.
we did this. We
Yeah.
talked our shit on
Yeah.
here. We was able to, be black or people of color, because Angel ain't black. He Puerto Rican. But
Yeah.
being people of color where we can have our conversations and in our spaces and feel safe. And everything on here ain't ignorant. We ain't on here and talking about selling drugs and popping Xannies and shit like that. Like we can have educated conversations and not feel like we couldn't do no better for ourselves. So I'm
Absolutely.
grateful for
Me
stuff
too.
like that. Like things that moving into this, like E said, she about to be 50. I'm gonna be 43 this year. And I'm seeing what life
Yeah.
really is about.
Yes.
Like it's about maturity,
It is.
growing,
Yes.
going on these trips with your family, your friends, your loved ones,
Absolutely.
embracing love. Cause I feel like for some reason we have gotten so far away from showing each other love. Like I remember when we was living in Cabrini, even when it was crazy,
Yeah,
we
it was
was still
always
showing each
love.
other love. We could all be in one spot and everybody showing love. We kicking it. It was a good time. It's like now you
Yeah.
can't even do that.
Yeah.
I remember now we used to hang in the row houses all the time. I don't even
Yeah.
want to
I
go
feel
down
you.
there now.
Yeah.
I be
I
looking
feel
like,
you.
what? Cambridge. Is you out your fucking
I
mind?
feel
Like,
you.
no.
You
Like,
know, this what you just first off, let me say, man, thank you for what you just said, because this right now, what we doing is actually like what he said earlier. This in itself is community. You know what I mean? And this is a little bit of the way that we mitigate some of the stress and some of those outside, forces that be trying to lean on us all the time, having a space where we could discuss these things, where we could kind of ideate on some other things. I do feel it's a quote. What he said, Malcolm X was like, "We not outnumbered, we out organized." So I
Yes.
do feel like one of those things that to go back to what we had started off with about facts or opinions, one of those things that we don't look at more is that we have a bunch of people who would want us to believe their opinion, as fact, and to keep us from organized with each other. Speaking on that love part about how we had, that love back in the day. And we gotta stop letting people do us like that. We gotta stop allowing people to come in with their opinion or they thought, unless it's asked, like,
Mhm.
what's your opinion on
Mhm.
this, on how we should do this thing or something like that. But we definitely gotta stop allowing people to infiltrate our facts with their opinions
yeah.
and
Mhm.
separating us,
Mhm.
even though it's just us three here.
Mhm.
I do this with a lot of our people, and we all be saying the same thing to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, man, we need more spaces like this. We need to be able to do this more. So I do appreciate one, Leroy. I appreciate that we done stayed in contact for all of these years. You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because I used to always, not always, but I used to be telling my wife all the time, like, man, that's my nigga. Like, boy, sexy Leroy. Cause remember we used to always say that, nigga. Like,
They did. They used to call me that, and they used to call me Leroy
yeah,
the Last
I'm
Dragon when we
that's
was
my
coming up,
fucking nigga. That
boy.
nigga will roast your ass. Leroy didn't give no fuck. You know what I'm saying? And your mama don't play, so niggas just knew, like, leave that nigga alone.
Hmm My mama said that too. She like, boy, I don't know how you had no friends. Your mouth. I'm like, look,
I give us
people
for
love that
real. That's
about
what
me.
we
They
used to
love
love,
that
cause
I'm
you
real.
already knew, nigga. Don't get Leroy started. This nigga finna roast your ass.
Oh, you lined up? Where you
So
at?
yeah, I love
You
this.
definitely, yeah, you
I
definitely a
do too.
love Leroy. You gotta
Yeah,
love Leroy.
I be trying to. I try to be my 100% self when I can.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how I
He
feel.
go my
You
Virgo
always
sister.
been the same for me. Like
He
you
go
always
y'all
been the
Virgo
same
Mm-hmm.
sister too.
person.
He go my big sister. She a Virgo like
Run the
y'all.
world.
Hey, hey,
That's
Hey
right.
Virgo.
All right,
how are
about
you
yourself.
guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Getting ready for bed.
She not
Yeah.
going to bed. She
I'm
lying.
going to bed.
You,
I gotta get
you,
up at
She
6.
lying. She ain't getting up for like.
you too.
Nice meeting ya.
It was nice meeting you too.
I know, but this is good. I'm glad we did this. I mean, hopefully we'll get Shayna and Angel on here soon. I don't know what's going on with Shayna. I'm gonna have to call my cousin. She
And look,
going through it.
It's okay. We
I'm
all
ready
going
for
through it.
Angel too, not just because he well, yeah, that is why. Cause he a comedian, right? So he, and I consider myself a little bit of a couch comedian, but comedians have a different perspective and they look at things sometimes from a viewpoint that other people just can't conceptualize. So I'm really interested to hear, some of his takes and how he feel.
Angel ass, look, Angel is crazy. Angel is hostile like me. I like Angel because he remind me of me. That's how I am. I'm like, look, these people getting on my damn nerves.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I love to hear his perspective. But I like Shayna too. Shayna got her own opinions about stuff, especially about love. And so it'll be nice to hear, something because I talk to her all the time. And I think it's crazy, besides the people who married, because you and Angel and I think in a relationship too, but me
Mhm.
and Shayna single. Like, so our perspective on what dating in 2026 is like is crazy. Like, we looking like,
Well,
what
I
the fuck?
mean,
Like,
I got a
what's wrong with these
25-year-old
people?
daughter. She about to be her birthday coming up soon, but you know, I try to, you know what I'm saying? I got a 12-year-old here too, so I try to stay up on this on those type of topics through them. You know what I mean? Because I'm talking to them all the time, and you know, luckily I have that relationship with my kids where they don't shut me out. Like we could talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I don't want to be like, oh, I'm the cool dad, because I still am a dad, and I'm concerned, and I'm stern, and I want to make sure that not telling you what to do, but at least guiding you. But I am the dad who ain't like my daddy and my mama was. I'm not standing on your neck. Like this your life, you gotta live it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm here as
Yeah.
like a guidepost, you know what I mean? I'm somebody you can come to and ask questions, and if I got a good perspective, even if it's terrible, I'ma still tell you. So I feel you on that. And man, one thing I have to have my
Yeah.
wife
And
on
then
here.
E, like, how has it been? So how has it been with Terica? Cause see, Terica coming up in a different age than we was, and how is dating for her? Like I
So
talked to my
it is really interesting that you asked this question about my 26-year-old,
We in
because
the same boat, E.
I have to really, really pat myself on the back, because she is her mother's child. I
which is
don't
good.
care what generation she is being is targeted, or like it falls in the range of. When I say my daughter and I complete each other's sentences, her thoughts are my thoughts. Like, she is my
Mm.
child. And you know, I'm a conservative. I talk about everything. So you can have this same conversation with my child and be blown back by the fact that she fucking 26. She amazes me. I promise you. She have the same. So like she has the same, because we talk about dating and stuff like this. So she has the same thing. She just feel like people need to get their shit together. Like,
Mm-hmm.
She ain't lying.
you know, like, look, I'm gonna come 100, right? And so I need somebody to come
Mm-hmm.
100. She like, I don't need no 80, I don't need no 50, I don't need no 60. I just need 100, 100. What you see is what you get, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want. I don't want to get to know somebody, an imposter. That's what she called it, an imposter. You know, I don't want to get to know an imposter, you know, and like she real king on bullshit. She got 5 friends. She had the same 5 friends since she was fucking
That's how my daughter
13.
is too.
And
When
that's
I
how
say that, I mean that. When I say that, she don't have, like, she got the same 3 friends. 2 of those friends she got in college.
That's how my daughter is too. Yeah.
Literally. Literally, she is a people person. She's a people magnet, but she like you, literally, Roy. She don't fuck with
Yeah.
people like that.
Um, What's her
She a
sign,
cause I
E?
Capricorn.
mean,
She a
Uh,
Capricorn.
and let me tell
Listen,
you something, they
listen.
say
Honestly, she's a Sagittarius because she was born December
mm.
22nd. But she not only do she not claim Sagittarius, but she has all the characteristics of a Sag cat.
Mm.
well,
Yeah,
she is
she
a
on
cap
the
though.
cusp.
Cause
That's what
Yeah.
she say. That's what she
my
said. But
my best friend birthday is on the 27th of December. She a cap.
second, 22nd.
Oh, you said 26. Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
kind of on the cusp. Okay.
So
Well, I
she
feel like
has that. She has the Sag cap, and she was raised by a Virgo.
Man, that's actually
but they
dope.
say Tauruses, Virgos, and Caps are always
Listen,
best friends. No matter
listen.
what it is, we always cool with each
Them
other.
is my two. I got a whole bunch of caps, and I'm a Capricorn moon too. So Virgo rise, however it go. But that and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's true because that's my experience. You know what I'm saying? I be
Yeah.
me and Caps. My first love, oh, you know, it was like a high school love, was a Cap, and I thought, oh, we gonna be together forever. I was wrong, but
Listen, my 26-year-old thinks Donald Trump is stupid. She think that
She
men are.
not lying.
She think that men are dumb. She think that
Mm.
She honestly do. She do. She always say she hates, and I'll be like, Zaterica, don't say that. She absolutely hates a dumb person.
Hey, I
People can,
feel her.
people cannot choose
Yes,
to
they
be
can.
dumb. People cannot. No, I know people that's really I promise you, they not choosing to be that way. I promise you, they not. It's just in them. They don't know.
Okay, yeah,
Some people
I
practicing
understand
to
that
be dumb.
they don't know part. Yeah, I do get that part.
I mean, because I be thinking to myself, like, I've seen somebody do something total backwards the way I would do it, and then when I asked them, and they man the way that I said it didn't make sense. But you double working.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to work
Mm-hmm.
smart, not hard. But you got people out here, they just stupid. And they like
That
being
part.
stupid. To me, in 2025, 2026, if you don't know how to do something in YouTube, Chat, GTT, all these different things that'll help you do it and you still don't know how to do
Wait,
it, you dumb. You
let
just
me
want to be
look.
stupid.
Okay, so you know what? In the defense of
Mm-hmm.
demographics,
Okay.
in the defense of demographics, because I am down here in the Delta.
Okay.
I feel like, just me, because we all are from the North and we from Chicago and we kind of from the same community, we kind of think the same.
Agree with
We
that.
gonna move the same. We may not,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But like, because what's logic to me in my mind isn't logic to a whole lot of people down here in
Mm-hmm.
this Delta.
Mm.
So just for the sake of demographics, I feel like there's a lot of people that fall short. And so to us, they're dummies because demographically where they come from or where they was raised. You know what I mean? Like that's just
But I was having
that's the
a
hard truth of it.
conversation.
That's the hard
It
truth of it.
is. I was having a conversation with this motherfucker in Milwaukee, and to me, I felt like if you still getting your ass whooped in domestic violence, back then it was 2025, you got to be a dumbass. It's too much helping you get out of your situation for you to still be taking ass whoopings. Like whether you a man or a woman and you getting beat up by your spouse, like I feel like 2025 domestic violence is stupid to me.
It is
Cause there's
stupid
so
to
much
me.
shit out here.
It is stupid to me too. It is absolutely stupid to me. But because I work in social services, you would be surprised that it's 45-year-old women that's still walking around here with black ass.
I know. My neighbor was getting her ass whooped in Milwaukee every night. I'm talking about this nigga was kicking her dough in. And I stay and mind my business. Here's
But
my thing.
But see, that's the thing though. Like, yeah, like, okay, yeah, we could talk about it. Like, yeah, it is. It's absolutely is stupid. It's absurd. All this help out here and everything, right? But Leroy, there are people that just absolutely just don't know. I'm telling you. And once somebody is able to control somebody who don't know, that's even worse. And then this person that's controlling you, he's a nitwit. He's a fucking manipulator, or she's a manipulator, or like this motherfucker don't know his worth. So of course he gonna compound on your fucking head. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta think about that too. You gotta think
I
about
mean,
like
and I
where
like
it,
everybody has, their own little thing going on and whatever the case may be. I felt like the only problem that I would tell her, the girl that was getting her ass whooped, was
she
that
not strong.
it's starting to affect me, bitch. I don't care that you want to get your ass whooped. You want him to lock you upside your motherfucking head, but bitch, when he bash
Leroy,
you
I
up against,
honestly, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. That's why I don't have a lot of dumb friends. I don't have no dumb friends. I don't have stupid friends because as soon as you do the stupid dumb shit and then you just still doing stupid dumb shit, I can't talk to you.
and I mean, look, I get it. We could help you get out your situation, but you gotta want to do it. And so I felt like the
You
issue that
stay
I
over
was
there and
having.
get your ass beat, okay? And don't
But
fucking
you know
call
what?
me.
It wasn't even about that. He
And don't
started bashing
call
that
me.
bitch. He started bashing that bitch head up against my door. That's where it started becoming the problem. Bitch, now you get me involved. Cause the police like, did you hear her get her ass with hell law, bitch? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep. Now she
But I
wanna
don't know
get
what
me
the
the
fuck happened to my door, huh?
but I know that bitch hit my door. And I'm trying to tell you, that's where the problem I got with it. I don't give a fuck that this bitch get beat up. Because I have already had a conversation with her. Told her, baby girl, you could get out of here. They got domestic violence shelters. They will help you. But you like getting beat up. So guess what? That's fine. Bitch, stop knocking on my door with your forehead, though. Get your ass whooping your property. Leave me out of this shit. I can't help you. You don't want my help.
Mental
She like,
illness is real, though. Mental illness is real, Leroy, for real.
it ain't mental illness. I feel like this my thing. That's not love, baby. Getting beat up every day ain't
It's
love. You
not.
a beautiful girl. This nigga 6'7", 280 pounds, and
He
you
beating
little
her
as hell,
up.
bitch.
Oh, he gets beating her
You
up.
getting beat up every night though. I'm talking about
Hello.
he kicking this bitch door in, and I be in there asleep. I'm like, damn, he gonna kick the bitch door off the
Man, my
hinges
damn
though.
mic was on. My
That's
mic
crazy.
had died. I was saying shit the whole time. I'm like, these niggas can't hear me.
We ain't heard
But
shit you
mental
said.
illness is real because even like for my neighbor, I got a neighbor. The bitch is crazy. We got a parking lot out here. It's about 20 parks out here. She want to park close to her door. When I say she play musical cars with her cars, as soon as a motherfucker leave out that park, she come. I think that's
Wait,
mental.
this what I was gonna say too.
That's
I was
mental
saying it and
illness.
didn't know. I'm like, these motherfuckers can't hear me. Then I look and say my damn thing wasn't moving.
I think that's
But
mental
we gotta
illness.
realize too, it's like different, I don't wanna say levels, but it's different kind of intelligence, right? Like emotional intelligence. It's all of these different kind of intelligence. And a lot of times people don't know, like you said, but also people they've been trained to think that this the right way to do something, like you were saying about your neighbor Leroy. She probably been trained to think that not fighting back is the safest bet for her. You know what I mean? So, because earlier what I was gonna say was about being from up north and then living down south, right? When I went down south, being from Chicago, fast talking, they always like, "Oh, you country as hell." I'm like, "I'm from the city," but of course, we got like a strong accent coming from Chicago. How we pronounce certain stuff. I say "iron," they say "iron," or however they say it. I say "dow," they say "dog." So, you know,
Car,
right, car,
car.
ja. So but what I start to realize was this intelligence that I thought I had was almost outmatched by some intelligence that they had, like understandings of nature and things of that, different things. So I be trying to look at people from a perspective of I'm not better than them. I don't know more than them. I could learn from them, and I could share things when I see where they might need some, or they might not know something. I could share with them, and we do live in a society where, going back to facts or opinions, we've been so inundated with opinions that people don't check for facts no more, especially since we got YouTube, like you were saying earlier, Leroy, Chat GPT, TikTok, all of this stuff. If somebody get on the TV with a white jacket on and tell you something and say that they're a doctor, I call myself doc. You know what I'm saying? If I throw a white jacket on and sit up straight and use proper English and tell somebody to do X, Y, and Z, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna fall for it and believe it. So then you just come about this with the
Yeah, that's how
church.
people be getting.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
authority, man. That's something else. We're gonna have to talk about that one day. This scamming and grifting going on in our community. Because
That's gonna be our next
Yeah,
look.
we
Our next
got to talk
episode, we
about
gonna
that,
dedicate
boy.
the whole
We
episode
got
to
to. I remember they used
scamming.
to be doing that to our grandma and them with that insurance. Remember that white dude? The white dude was cool though. Remember the white dude used to be coming to the building all the time with the insurance and shit. But they would that so
Mhm.
yes,
Charles. His
Charles.
name was
Yeah, hey, but
Charles.
Charles wasn't scamming people. He wasn't scamming, but still, they used to.
The dude
That
after
Yeah,
you
him
yeah.
know
was.
of. Look,
The
that
dude
you
That's
after
how
know
it
him
of.
started. That's
was.
like so the
The
skinny
skinny
dude, yeah, because
dude.
everybody trusted Charles already. So then when that dude came, people thought they could trust him too, and he was ripping people off. I never forget that. I remember that. So
He wasn't paying
nah,
on
he
their
was pocketing
policies.
that money.
He was taking
Yeah, he
their
was
money.
pocketing that money. That nigga used to be at the building all the time. I'm like, damn, nobody ain't died. Nigga, they just paid last month. Nigga over there all the time with some new. Well, we could get you this, nigga. You can't get me renter's insurance. I'm in the projects. The fuck you talking about?
Yep.
But we definitely
Yep. But
we definitely do have to look at how not how smart people are or how stupid people are, but how people, react to different things. For me, that's what let me know they level of intelligence, at least on the critical thinking side. Cause shit, it be stuck. I'm the type of person if I don't know, I'm not gonna like if I don't know about something, I'm not about to be sitting up there talking about it. That make me that you stupid when you do that, you know? My brother said something to me
yeah, because
recently that made a lot of sense. He was like, and I ain't gonna go into too much detail because people will know who I'm talking about. But he was saying that somebody was saying, "Oh, my child is like this genius child, this, that, and the other, right?" And he pointed out, he said, "This person thinks that child really smart, but when the child faced with a challenge like opening a jar or doing something that they should be able to do independently on their own, they don't know how to do it. So they know they ABCs, they know how to count, they could identify words on on the paper or on the screen and stuff. But when it comes to common sense stuff, the kid can't do it. He was like, that's not intelligent. That child ain't intelligent. That child just been trained to memorize all these other things. And that's a lot of what we have in
I was just
society.
about to say that.
Yeah, yeah,
I was just about to say that.
yeah.
That's white
That
people
baby
to a
just
T. White people, they not smart, they not innovative. They just
And they
follow
follow directions
directions. They
great.
really
Yeah.
good at listening.
Think
Yeah,
about
they
think
not
about this.
like they don't
They
come up with
are
the
very good at documenting. I mean, they wiped out a lot of other people's history, but they have very great documents on their own history. And then they steal from people. They go into societies and steal from people, and then they create, standard operating procedures and scopes of work on other people's stuff so that they could train their people.
the spirit of
Come on,
takeover.
for real, for real. For real. That's what I said earlier. Like,
they
man,
do.
we not outnumbered, we out organized. We definitely got to start building our own
Yes.
systems and really looking at that. Um, cause we more free with it. We more like nature. We just like, oh yeah, my child gonna see me do it. They gonna learn how to do it. They don't believe in that. They like, I'm writing all this shit down. I'm writing it down.
But not just writing down. I mean, a lot of them, they just really expect it to be handed to them. Like, I look at like colleges now. You know, when we was coming up, we was in high school, man, we had to get it.
Yeah,
We was working hard to
yeah.
get into college. Our families have brought us up to do black excellence and not just black, like people of color, period. We all work hard because we know we got to strive, to be successful. But
Yeah.
white folks, they never
They don't
work
have
hard
to.
for much. They come in expecting you to be handing it to them. They come in the job, they want to be the top manager, ain't work for it, don't know shit about the job. They just expecting to make $100,000 a year. And most of
Uh-huh.
the time they do hire these idiots to be over us. They don't know what they
That's why they
doing.
put the systems
They
there so they
begging us
could
to
do
help
that.
them.
There's like you just said, they come into a place, they don't have no experience, they don't have no training, and then Johnny be like, "Well, shit, I grew up with him. I'm gonna make him my right hand man." And then he got you doing his work while he on calls and and lunch dates all the time. Yeah, I'm gonna take such and such out to lunch. Like nigga, you ain't did no work. You want me to you
That's what I'm
at this
saying.
shit?
But his ass is making 80 to $100,000 a year. And you doing all the work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what they do. And then they were like, well, what are you mad for? You know, you should just be happy you were invited to the
Yeah.
table. Bitch,
Right.
I am the
Right.
table. What are
And the
we talking
legs.
about?
Motherfucker, I'm the seat, motherfucker. I'm the
That's what I'm saying. If it
That's
wasn't for
that's
me, this
that's
place
that's
would
why I
fall
built
apart.
my own
man,
goddamn
listen,
table.
that's what we working on too,
And you
building
right.
tables for our people because if we don't, yeah, I ain't even gonna say that if we don't, because I see a lot of people doing it. But we at that space in time right now where a lot of these other tables that didn't have no real support is collapsing and they are running and they scared. It's like roaches when the light come on. They so scared. Oh, they trying to get rid of us and they want to kill us. It's reverse racism and DEI kept us out of the job. Now DEI gave y'all ass more jobs.
And then that shit that fucking JD Vance, we no longer have to apologize for
What
being white in America.
do that even mean?
I said,
What
what?
does that mean though? This
The problem is that they
It
feel
means
guilty
that
for the
Trump is the fucking president. That's
that's a
all.
good point. That's a
That's
good
all.
point. That's a
That's
good
all.
point.
That's
Man,
all. That's all.
Now I ain't finna keep us up. I said I was gonna cut us off at 1 because
okay.
it's 1 a.m.
Okay.
here. Before we get, I'm gonna stop the recording, but I want y'all to let it upload 100% because if not, we ain't gonna be able to post it on Spotify. I'm still trying to get our last episode up there
Okay, so
that I've been
I
arguing with
won't.
they
Wait, look,
stupid
it
dumb
might
ass.
work
I
now
won't.
because E is back on the app. Because when I looked into it, Leroy, it basically was saying like if we open up the tab or the app back again, so what it do is it record each one of us individually and then upload
It
all of
did.
it together. Yes, it's supposed to be so it's easier to edit.
Yeah, and it was saying the last time me and yours was good, but it said E was only at 99%. So I was like trying to send her the link to get back on so that it'll keep uploading
Yeah.
it to 100%, but it never did it. And so every time I post, we got a lot of
Hell
good clips
yeah,
on the
we had
last one we
fun.
did, but it's not letting me upload it. Like it's saying it's giving me like fail when I try to export it to Spotify because me and your interview on there. I did an interview with the author and it came out great and it's on there. But for some reason, that last episode is not letting me upload it. I tried everything. I've been doing this since I've been here and I've been having problems here because I'm not on my own Wi-Fi and I'm on hers. It's telling me I'm not at home. So it don't even it done locked me out of
Oh
like 3 of my
yeah.
accounts. Cause it's like, we not trusting, is it really you? And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I should be able to go out of town and it not be a problem. But apparently it
That's
is.
another thing, bro. All these,
That's what I'm saying.
all
Who the
these,
fuck told
right,
Google to be
right.
monitoring
I
me?
hate that, bro. I even to the point where I'm like, I used to like using AI, but now I'm like, I don't even trust AI because I'm like, oh, I'm training this thing to basically replace people. Nah, I'm cool. And then you give it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know for a fact it's people who just telling it all their business to. Nah, that ain't cool. That ain't cool.
Dummies.
That ain't cool.
But it is. It's
Dummies.
recording everything about
Everything.
you and
They
it's
putting their
Bro, I
reporting
whole
was
on you
credit
thinking about some
too.
report up in the
shoes the
fucking
other
So
day.
chat
conversations
GPT.
you be
I
having.
was thinking about some shoes the other day, right? I picked my phone up, about to call somebody, hopped on Google real quick to make sure the place that I was about to tell them about was the place. The first ad I seen was the exact shoes I was thinking about. I said, oh, hell no. I got to start charging my phone. And listen, bro. I
Google.
never searched those shoes out before either. Never searched those shoes online before. That messed my head up. Though. I'm going to start, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Me and my sister was talking to me about a payroll system she working in. Next thing I know on Facebook, I see these ads
Hey,
for that
same thing
payroll
for me,
system.
bro. This
Ma-
Zeffy, this free damn fundraising thing, right? Me and one of my partners talk about it, and he hit me. He said, "Bro, I just jumped on Facebook, and the first ad I saw was Zeffy. But at the exact same time that me and him was talking, I was on Facebook and saw the same. I said, bro, we gotta start having meetings in person and leaving our phones in the car, bro. For real. We see how
because they
Yeah.
recording your
Yeah.
movements and the things you talk. Like it knows I'm here in Orlando.
But see,
Like
not
everything
only
on
the
my
phone,
thing is coming up.
but not only the phone too, our laptops. Like when we take our laptops from here to there.
Man, yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, and if you got smart TVs or
Man, I
smartwatches,
don't use none of that stuff.
It's
I
doing it
think
with
all
your
that stuff is
TV.
stupid. I
yeah,
really do. I'm like, you tracking your heartbeat, you tracking all
yeah,
these metrics
because
about your body. Somebody using that information.
I don't.
That shit
Yep.
stupid to me. I got bracelets, regular bracelets.